Hello, and you're watching FAQu. This is our first, obviously we'll be answering our first question for the year. My name's Angelo Lambropoulos, Director of Lambros Realty. So the question I will be answering is this, that was put forward by Katie Mayhew, which, very good question I might add. So, question was this, what would the South Dural proposal, if it went ahead, do to our properties in the area, in your opinion? Good question. So, firstly, allow me to for those that aren't aware what the South Dural proposal is. So, South Dural, Statewide Property Ventures has lodged plans with the Hornsby Shire Council to rezone 240 hectares near Old Northern Road, New Line Road and Hastings Road. If approved, the precinct would produce 135 residential lots. The time frame for completing the local environmental plan is March 2018. Now, it's an interesting one, so I want to keep this short and snappy, and obviously you guys are more than welcome to call me or email me afterwards. In short, I think it's absurd, really. I think it's going to backfire more so on the developers than it will the residents. So, why do I say that? I say that because of this. If you take Oak Hill College, okay, I look at the site opposite Oak Hill College, which was proposed for development and to house new people, develop new homes, blah blah. Now, that being said, they've had all sorts of issues, and issues in the sense, I believe they've had issues with the land, just building on it. There's been problems trying to sell them, and they're still trying to sell it. Now, what impact has that had on the surrounding properties? Zilch. Okay. Now, as far as the Hastings Road Triangle is concerned, which is the South Dural proposal, I think they're going to be stuck in the same boat. I mean, let's be honest. Who wants to live in the middle of two main roads? New Line Road, Old Northern Road. Think about it. There's nothing happening around there. Nobody's going to want their kids walking to school from there. And yeah, sure, they'll put buses in and they'll have buses commuting to the schools. I get it. But then the other problem you'll have is traffic. Nobody wants to live in an area where there's traffic, where you exit your driveway and guess what? Yeah, you've got a few back streets, you enter Main Road and gridlock up New Line Road or Old Northern Road, whichever path you decide to take. So in theory it sounds great, South Dural, growing Dural, but let's look at it as it is now. South Dural, which is positioned in the Cherrybrook Technology High School catchment, there's a 10 to 20% lag in property values to that of a comparable property in Cherrybrook. Why? Because there's no traffic. Cherrybrook's got the infrastructure. Cherrybrook has the shops. Now, what does that mean for Dural? Does that mean Dural's dead and buried? Absolutely not. I think if you're around the round corner pocket of Dural, I think you're laughing. I think anywhere that's within a walking distance to a shopping centre is gold. And look, I guess you've got to look at what the big players are doing as well. Okay, so let's look at Woolworths. Woolworths, for instance. I think they'll redo the shops within the next 5 to 10 years. Why do I say that? I say that because of this. Woolworths opened a shop in Glenorrah about 10 years ago. Audi, about three years ago now, I think it was, they opened their shop at Galston. Okay? Strategically, I believe these two companies have positioned themselves. When they redo round corner shops, they'll have a shopping centre. Woolworths will have a shopping centre at Glenorrah and Cherrybrook. Audi will have Castle Hill and Galston. When Dural's complete, well, you'll probably see those two big players enter the shopping precinct there. Probably. Okay? In saying that as well, obviously facilitating Cherrybrook Village as well. There's a proposal to redo those shops, which obviously makes a lot of sense. So I think between the time frame, they will therefore organise a time frame that suits both. So I think as far as the South Dural proposal is concerned, if you're a resident in Dural, and if it does go ahead, and you're sort of sitting around the James Henty pocket, that pocket, which is a South Dural pocket, it could be somewhat problematic. And where that area does fall to now, there's some lovely homes that probably should get more than what they sell for, is primarily location. People buy based on location. Is the Hastings Road Triangle the location? Absolutely not. So, as a resident, what impact will it have on your property? Nothing. You'll be fine. your property values will continue to appreciate as they have been in Dural. Granted, there'll be periods of plateau where interest rates may very well rise, but that's going to happen anyway. So Dural in itself is a great suburb, lovely suburb, good schools, and from what I understand, there's big plans of developing Dural, but I don't think Hastings Road is the answer. So I hope that somewhat answers that question. If you're at the round corner pocket, as I said, I think you're doing quite well. If you're in the James Henty pocket, exercise with caution. When I say exercise with caution, I mean you might have to ride a wave a little if they do go ahead with that proposal. That the fad of new dwelling, I want to buy a new house, might have an impact, a short-term impact on your existing house. But as time progresses, I think people will understand, what have I purchased here? If the South Dural precinct does go ahead, it's definitely going to be in the developer's best interest to release in stages and not as a whole. If you do release as a whole, obviously you're going to flood the market with oversupply. The demand will not be there, and it's going to put downward pressure on property prices. And as I said, there's going to be somewhat of a kink of a wave if you try to sell, because people will say, well, there's brand new going for 1 million. Why should I buy your house for 1.1, an existing dwelling? So don't, I hope I've sort of explained myself and haven't confused anybody or anything. But you're more than welcome to email me on info@lambrosrealty.com.au. Phone me on 0286287128 if you have any further questions or I haven't explained myself properly. Happy to answer them. Again, I look forward to answering next week's question. Email me your question or post the question on Facebook, and I'll do what I can to answer it. And thank you for tuning in.